Welcome to this video. Today we're going to work with numbers in C#. Numbers are everywhere in programming, and even more when we are creating games. Be that for the health of your player, the speed of an enemy, or to calculate the distance between two objects. Whether you like math or not, there is no doubt that numbers are very important. In C#, there exist two kinds of numbers, integers and floats. Integers are whole numbers, so for example -5, 28 or 2018, and floats are decimal point numbers, so for example -6.5, 8.33 and 70.1. One very important thing to remember is that you have to add the letter F at the end of the number when it's a float. So integers and floats have their respective use cases. For example, for the health of the player, you'd probably use an integer because having a health value of 5.5 seems quite unusual. If you want to calculate the distance between two characters, we would need to use a float because that distance would need to be a little bit more precise than just using whole numbers. When it comes to a speed value, you can get away with integers or floats. It will all depend on how precise of a value you'll need. So with these numbers, we can do simple mathematical operations. So we can add and subtract numbers together, and we can also do multiplication and divisions. You'll note that C#, like most programming languages, will follow the order of operation, which states that parentheses get calculated first, then multiplications and divisions, and finally additions and subtractions. There is another operator that we sometimes use called the modulo operator. So this operator is represented with the percentage symbol on your keyboard. Modulo will divide two numbers together and return the remainder of that operation. So for example, 10 modulo 3 will return 1 because 3 goes in 10 3 times and the remainder is 1. So this operation is very useful when you want to check if a certain number is even or odd, because a number modulo 2 that returns 0 means that that number is even. Okay, that's enough talking for now. Let's go inside of Unity and test all this out. So I'm currently inside of our project and I'm going to create a new C# script called numbers. Then double click on it to open it up inside of your text editor. First of all, I will go inside of the start function because we want to only print out these numbers once. Then I will write print followed with a pair of parentheses inside of which I'll type in the integer 100. And at the end of the line, I'll not forget to add a semicolon. So this line should print the number 100. I'll then copy this line and paste it 6 more times. On the second line, I'll print out a negative integer like -5. After that, we'll test out printing a float like 28.7 and also a negative float, so -70.9 for example. Do not forget to add the letter F at the end of your float numbers, otherwise you will get a nasty error message. Following that, I'll now do a simple calculation. So I'll write print the result of 10 times 10 minus 50 plus 5. So if you do the math in your head, that should be equal to 55. Next, we'll use the modulo operator. So I will calculate 10 times 50 modulo 2. So 10 times 50 is 500. And then we are dividing 500 by 2, which returns perfectly 250 with no remainder. So this should print out 0. For the last calculation, we're going to make things a little bit more complex by also including parentheses and mixing integers and floats together. So first of all, we're calculating 5 minus 3, which is 2, times 10 makes 20, plus 1.25, which equals 21.25. Okay, with all our prints ready, we'll now save our script by pressing Ctrl S or Command S if you're on a Mac, and then we'll head over back to Unity. Here, we'll just drag and drop our script onto a game object in the scene so that it can run, and then we'll press the play button. You can now open up your console by going under Window, Console. First of all, you will see that we have printed out the integers 100 and -5. Then we have got the floats, so 28.7 and -70.9. And finally, we have got our 3 more complex calculations. So the first one, as we saw, was equal to 55. The second one was 0 because 500 was even. And the last one was correctly 21.25. So as you can see, you can use C# as your new calculator. Alright, so to conclude, in this video we covered the importance of numbers in game development. We talked about the two kinds of numbers that exist, which are integers and floats, and do not forget to put the letter F at the end of your floats. We then quickly covered the different types of operations that you can do with them, and you maybe learned for the first time about the modulo operator that returns the remainder of a division. Finally, we practiced using numbers together. I would now highly encourage you to play around some more with numbers, experiment and just do crazy operations and try to figure out what they are equal to before you check inside of the Unity console. Okay, that marks the end of this video. I'll see